your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing. Black men suck.
What you...
They're bad. They cheat. They don't care. I'm with the white boys.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing.
Why you say that?
I don't like black men. Not very many meet my standards.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing. They're just terrible.
Even when you just said that, because I'm thinking about the guest that we just had, she admitted that, you know, her father wasn't a productive father, which I guess justify why she is allowed to say negative things about black men. It's okay for black women to say stuff like that. Like, you know, they will critique a lot of black men sometimes with, oh, you must hate your mother. Like, we get that a lot. You must hate your mother.
Well, they say that to me. I must hate my mom.
Yeah, like
black women accountable.
When black women have these negative thoughts about black men, nobody says you must hate your father. And it's clearly true.
Yeah.
That one experience can cause you to have a whole hatred towards men. And for some reason, that's valid. But when a black man is not allowed to have that same experience.
This is something that I've noticed about black women. Not all, of course, because I'm a black woman and I don't think like that. But I kind of find it very disgusting or weird is that we tend to, as black women, overly punish black men for what we deemed as disrespectful or weird towards a black woman. But if a white guy does the exact same thing, if not worse, but he dresses it up a little bit better, kind of has like a player tone to it, and he panders by saying sweet words to her, then it's looked at as okay because, for one, he's white. You're projecting your own interracial fantasies onto this guy or interracial couple. Prime example, Love Island, right? And I've spoken on this show before where Taylor, a black guy, hasn't really been honest with Alandria about how he truly felt since day one. But my thing is, what has Taylor done that Nick hasn't done or Pepe or any other guy has done on the show in exchange for their own beneficial gain, which is, for this particular show, the $100K prize that is split between the two couples. So because Taylor has been shown saying that he doesn't find Alandria attractive, he doesn't pretty much want to show too much effort in the real world, that would make sense for Taylor to be condemned. But on a damn TV show where we're trying to win some money, technically, is he wrong? Yes, he could have been honest, but it's a TV show. Why would I tell her that I'm not attracted to her when I don't have any other options? I'm going to link up with somebody that's compatible to me on TV so we can both benefit from it. Yes, is he not being honest, but it's not like she's also not, you know, a part of the prize money as well. But because people are projecting their own issues that they've had in real life with black men, to hell with Taylor, and let's, you know, build this whole fantasy of Nick and Alandria that's clearly not genuine. I'm not saying that Nick doesn't find Alandria beautiful or funny or whatever, but again, if he was so into Sierra, who is a non-black woman, why didn't he not leave with Sierra? Why? Because he still wants the money. And then on the flip side, I don't like when we overuse the term phrase, we don't protect black women, when black women was tearing down another black woman who is Clark, again, projecting your own inner hatred by saying that she was making faces and stuff like that. In real life, you do have women that don't like other black women when they feel like they are being overlooked by the man that they want and the guy doesn't want them. So this TV show has really shown me how people view dating in general.
You know, Umar Johnson, Professor or Dr. Umar Johnson said that the greatest form of loyalty a black person can give to the society is from marrying from their own, right? These are the words of Umar Johnson. He believes that there should be marriage between blacks and blacks, and he does not believe in outside marriages, you know? And there's a good reason to it. I recently made a video where we discussed about black people preferring black women more than white women, right? And sometimes black women feel that when a black man is poor is when they'll follow up with them. And once the black man gets some cash, they leave them and go for the white woman. That is something that has been there, right? So today I want us to have a conversation on why there is a lot of advantage and there is an optimistic space for the black woman and for the black man. When there's a division of a certain community, it means someone else is gaining, right? So I want us to listen to the black people, the black woman specifically.
And when y'all get on here and talk about how y'all not dating black men anymore, I shut up so hard. I super shut up. I was just watching this girl's video, and she says that she wants to list out the reasons why she won't be dating black men anymore. And she starts off with, they don't take care of their kids, they're not reliable, they're not supportive, they don't make good financial decisions. Then they want us to pay half the bills, sleep with them, take care of the kids, cook, clean, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, and the caption was, most black men, da-da-da-da-da. And as a woman who quite literally has spent a considerable amount of time around men in my life, especially my formative years, because I worked in barbershops. At one point, I was the only girl working in a barbershop. I really got to understand and learn, and I'm also curious and inquisitive about the nature and the mind of men. Because I actually like men. Not just romantically love men, but I actually like men. And just like we talk about how some men don't like women, some women don't like men. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I literally don't know any men who don't take care of their children. And I know a plethora of men. I don't know any that don't take care of their children. And she was like, taking care of your kids is not just paying child support. Just because you have a poor situation with maybe your children's father, or maybe, I don't know, you've heard a couple of baby mama, baby daddy stories, does not equate to all black men, or even most black men not taking care of their kids. In fact, research shows us that more black men are involved today than ever in their children's lives. Let's start there. Okay, you say they're not reliable and they're not supportive. I can call at least 10 to 20 men right now and say I need whatever, and I am not romantically involved with these men. And I could call them right now and say I'm in an emergency, or I need da-da-da-da-da-da. And they will be Johnny or Jamarcus on the spot. She said that they want us to pay half the bills, cook, clean, take care of the kids, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you need to be an adult. Like, you're grown. You created certain bills, or you should have created certain bills by now just by being an adult. So yes, if you are in a partnership with someone, you should expect to contribute something. And vagina doesn't count. If you actually sit down and have real conversations with men, and you sit down and have real conversations with women, you really see just how overlooked men can be. You really see how unseen they are in certain situations. And I take this seriously, one, because again, I like men, but two, I am a mother to a boy. And I'll be damned if one of these women, or one of these little girls out here thinks that my son is just supposed to be their utility. No, and I'm teaching him at a very early age he has worth and he has value. He is also to respect women. He is also to not treat any woman how he would not want me to be treated. That's definitely instilled in him. But he is not just for your consumption. And neither are any of these men. I have brothers, I have platonic friends, like, and some of y'all women really just be bulldozing. And you think because you got something between your legs that they don't have, that you are the prize. You're not the prize just because you have a vagina. You're not a high value woman just because you have a vagina. And I'm tired of people thinking that. I have too many conversations with guys where I'm just like, you're not seen, you're not listened to, you're not heard, you're overlooked. But yet somebody wants you to keep, I don't know, waking up every day, putting hands to the plow, going out here and fighting the world, and they got to come home and fight too. So I don't know what this, maybe it's a trendy topic or whatever, but I pray to God every day that my soulmate is a black man. And if my soulmate is anything other than a black man, then I will probably die single. This is a stupid conversation that's being had, and I don't know if it's like I said, if it's trendy, if it's a thing to talk about to get views, likes, comments, and shares. But y'all gotta learn how to stand on something. You think that other men of other races aren't gonna dog you out? The same ones whose ancestors purchased your people like property, like cattle? You think that's not ingrained in them? You think that's not in their DNA? Please. And also, let's touch on the topic of the selfishness that some women possess. So, it's your birthday or it's a holiday and you want this man to go all out for you. You want this, and this, the finest. You want to live in a lap of luxury. When it's his special days, his birthday, Father's Day, or some important event for him, you want to get his socks and a robe. And it's not about just the gifts. It's about the thoughtfulness behind the gift. You can give a man something small and he will be so appreciative. A good man, a mature man, he will be so appreciative because you put special thought into it. But a lot of y'all don't listen to him long enough to find out what he likes. A lot of y'all are so combative. And I'm not saying, y'all know me. Y'all know I'm going to use my voice and I'm going to speak up. I'm not talking about sitting there and just being docile and meek and mild and you don't have a voice. A real man doesn't even want that. But a lot of women, and again, I have a lot of conversation with women as well. A lot of women are selfish. Very, very selfish. And we have got to come together as black women and black men. We cannot be on this app in front of others talking about how we have such disdain for each other. We got to get to the root of the problem. And it's going to require some level of vulnerability. It's going to require, I say vulnerability. Y'all know what I mean. It's going to require that. It's going to require us to die to our egos on both sides. We're going to have to die to our egos and come together for this thing to work. But I be daggone if I get on here talking about I'm not dating black men anymore. Please. I'd rather fight every day. I'd rather go through the trenches with black men any day. Because you're going to go through stuff with any race of men. You're going to go through it with men or women because we're different. Regardless. I'd rather be in this fight with a black man.
Here I am 1 year later remaking this video, and I didn't think I was going to have to do this. But after spending 1 year here in Kenya, after I noticed the way how the audience seems to tune out the most. This is the second time this has happened when I'm in Africa. Is that I realized that black American men, because that's the majority of my audience, do not like African women. I don't give a damn how many countries I go to. I don't care what I do. The slightest light-skinned, Latina, Eritrean, as long as she's not brown or dark-skinned, these motherfuckers will worship her. And I made a video about this last year about self-hatred amongst the black community and wanting to be accepted. And that's the reason why we favor Asia and Latin America. And even you guys would even go get 30 of your teeth knocked out by the neo-Nazis in Eastern Europe before you come somewhere where people are actually gonna welcome you at home. So I'm saying that to say that I have to travel again. And we could say, oh, it's because, you know, the content is redundant. You know, you've been talking about Kenya too much. I be reading y'all comments. Y'all don't like Africa. Y'all say Africa has slow internet. They have 100 up and 100 down here. Some internet better than what I had when I lived in Dallas, Texas, and it's cheaper. There's a lot of stuff to love about being in Africa, but you know what? I'm gonna give you black American men what y'all want. And I will go back to Latin America for a short period of time. I won't be there to live. I'm gonna go there to just show you guys, and I want you guys to look at the difference in the comments and the views and the critiques of Latin America versus Africa. If you're a black American man, you hate yourself and you hate African women, make sure you give this video a like. If you like yourself and you like African women, do not get this video a like. I wanna see how many likes this video get. Probably get a fucking million. I'm Austin Holloman. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're getting back on the road.
I'm sorry, but I see why black men aren't dating black women anymore. I really do. I mean, the maturity level speaks for itself. Most black women stop maturing at the age of 12. I'm sorry, they do. And y'all want to be like, oh, we're the most educated. Not no more, boo. Check the stats. Asians are 77% more educated. Whites are 54%. Oh, and then they go, oh, no. We mean within our demographic, we're more educated than the black man. But they still make more than you. So it doesn't matter. You can keep your certification to Albies or whatever the hell you're certified for. Nobody gives a damn. But again, that's not true no more. That's actually not true no more. Y'all are not the most educated group. So now what's your argument? But for being just straight B words. Because I'm sitting here and one of my favorite YouTubers posted, I mean, not YouTubers, Instagram people, TikTok, I don't know what he is, you know, he's everywhere. But he posted a video about this woman, and she was talking about she was waiting on her husband to be a bad guy so she can leave him. And then she goes on to say, actually, women, he don't gotta be a bad guy for him to leave him. If you're just not happy, you should just leave. I'm like, are y'all serious? And so now I hate him because my algorithm went straight to that. Then I see a black girl in the car crying, talking about how being a wife, she lost herself, and being a wife, you can't be who you are. I'm like, well, who are you? What do you want to do? What can you do in your outside of your marriage that you can't do inside your marriage besides be a 304? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And then those of you black women that are married, you guys are the lowest, you guys have the lowest marriage rate in the world. So for those of you complaining and saying, oh, I don't want to be married no more, girl, you know how rare it actually is to be a black woman and to be married? You know, I'm not saying like, you know, oh, that's like should be your life goals, but to actually achieve it, instead of this dumbass education stuff y'all keep talking about, you know what I mean? Y'all need to wake up and see this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like y'all are online crying to us who we really don't care. We just make fun of y'all. That's it. We don't care. You know? So y'all come online. Imagine you're at home and you see your husband online crying, talking about how much he hates you and hate being married to you. You'd be like, why would you do that? And it's the same thing. Why would you come on here and tell us this? Go tell him, or even make the video and just send it secretly to him so he can know how you feel. Why would you come on here and tell us this? It doesn't make any sense. So now that my algorithm's messed up, I'm just like, you black women, the mindset, again, 12 to 14 years old, because what do you mean you don't want to be married? And then you got the ones on here like, oh, you can't convince me to have a child. Girl, nobody want to have a child.
Y'all don't even realize the plan was never random. The goal was always to destroy the black man. Always. Just look around. Our men are getting killed in the streets, locked up in prisons, pushed to destroy themselves, or convinced to live a lifestyle that strips away their masculinity. That's not an accident. That's by design. You can even go back to the Bible and you'll see that Herod gave a clear command. If it's a boy, kill it. But if it's a girl, you can let her live. Why? Because the women were never threats. The men were. The men are the protectors, the leaders, the ones with the ability to fight back. And history repeats itself. The enemy knows that if you take out the man, you destabilize the household. You destabilize the whole nation. That's why all the attacks are aimed at him. Because if you destroy the man, you...
What is the relationship between black women and black men in Germany like?
How can I say?
If this answer is going to be anything like what I've heard back in the UK, this is going to be interesting. So I'm listening.
Well, I think it really depends who you meet and like the mindset that they have, and also on the reflection where they see themselves. Also based on their own privileges, maybe. And
what does that mean? Also based on your own privileges?
Well, I mean, if you hear as a black man well educated, you have different chances than a woman who's well educated. Okay. So to acknowledge that, for example, and to get out of the very typical man and woman roles as something, for example, which I struggle quite sometimes to have conversations about, because I met many men who are very traditional. And I think, from my perspective, if you grow up here, you meet many black women who are not that traditional anymore. So I think there's quite a conflict, and you have to find a way to communicate it and to navigate to this, and to actually find a partner, both sides, who kind of matches what you're looking for and who is willing to follow this dynamic of supporting wherever you want to go, instead of saying, okay, I want to go there, can you please support me?
It's socially acceptable to be anti-black against black men on this app, especially within the black community. Because if you think about conversations that impacts the black community, let's say finances, conversation about 50-50. I saw a black woman on this app, big following, which said black American men are 50-50 warriors. Now, she said this in order to put down black American men, and make black American men feel bad for not having the finances to be a sole provider. Right? So this is where the anti-blackness, where white supremacy come in. Because what does white supremacists, what do? They throw away the actual reality and rely off of their feelings and delusion. The reason why black men don't have the same amount of wealth as their white counterparts, slavery, apartheid, federal government denying rights, like things that are documented, they throw that out the window. Conversations about black men attending college. These people would downplay systemic racism. Like some of the black women on this app will downplay systemic racism in order to say how much better they are than a black man. When you're talking about conversation of black men attending college, this woman, she told me, well, yes, we're aware that systemic racism exists, but we were able to get out of it. So it's basically black men are in this position because they're just not working hard enough. What does that sound like? And he pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And that talking point about college, right there, I knew it was simply they hate black men. And not necessarily just simply hating black men, it's being at the bottom of the social hierarchy. So when you have an opportunity to be better than somebody, you're going to look for it, right? When you have insecurities, when you don't have self-worth. Right, so these conversations about college, black women are disproportionately impacted by student debt. You find studies called Jim Crow debt, but they rather ignore that and put down black men for not being able or not attending college like them. They hate black men, and these are the people who will tell you black men need to be accountable for the actions of other black men. These people, their perception, I will never be accountable for the perception of how black men are viewed. When we live in a society that is very racist, anti-black, so when these people are telling black men you need to be held accountable, but when they have conversations about black men, they can't provide any level of nuance, it's pointless to try to change off of the perception of racists. And those races can be black women as well. Like anybody, right? Anti-blackness impacts everybody. And if you're unable to acknowledge that fact,
a lot of black men are starting to shy away from black women. We're angry, we're loud, we're violent. We always demasculize men, and that's exactly how black women are.
Tough. I think men back then dated more white women and other races.
No.
Listen, black men are still dating black women overall.
Black women
I'm not saying there's none, but I think that a lot of black men are shying away from black women. Yeah.
I have a question for some black men, because I know it's not all, so don't come for me saying she said all. I never said that, but I do have a question for some, specifically the black men who choose to date white women, because that is where I have seen it the most. But I was about to go into the store, right? There was a black man there. He was with a white woman. You could tell they were together. Okay. As I'm getting ready to come into the establishment, I'm right behind them. He holds the door for me. I said, thank you. He said, oh, you're very welcome. Okay. There was a black lady right behind me. He let that door go and slam in her face. And I looked, and I even said to him, I said, oh, that was very rude. And he said, what happened? I held the door for you. I said, yes, you did. I said, but why did you let it slam in her face? And he just kind of smirked and walked off. I have noticed that a lot of black men that specifically date white women like to treat black women horribly. And I will never understand that shit. I do not give a damn who you choose to date. You can date whatever fucking race of people you want to date. I don't give a damn. But why must you treat black women so horribly when you choose to date outside of your race? And I have seen this more than once, so don't tell me that was just him, because it's not. I have witnessed it, that when a black man chooses to date another race, he chooses to treat black women like trash. And that's the most ignorant shit I have ever seen in my life. I will never understand that. You have a right. You can have your preference. You can date whoever the fuck you want to date. This is a free country. Nobody said that. You can love whoever you want to love, but why must you just treat black women horribly when you choose to do that? That is the most insane thought process I have ever heard of. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I was dating a black man that specifically treated black women horribly, that specifically just degraded black women, talked down on them, that would be an automatic deal breaker for me, because why? Your mother is black. Your sisters, if you have them, are black. Your grandmother is black. Why would you do that? Just because you choose to date outside of your race never, ever, ever gives you the right to degrade black women. It's the most disgusting behavior I have ever seen, and I have seen it so many times, and I would love for someone to tell me why. Why do you do that? It's just sickening. Like, I just can't. I would say good day, but that just pissed me off, so whatever.
So I made a video about Lupita and, her being, heartbroken. And hey, black men, you actually do not like dark-skinned women. It's so evident. I used to hear this from my friend Rachel, who keeps saying that dark-skinned women are overlooked in terms of dating. I didn't know until I made this video. And in the comment section, the amount of men saying Lupita is ugly and she's unattractive and she's, that is the best she could have done for herself. Colorism is so real in Africa. I bet you if Lupita was light-skinned, I don't think people would be having the same comments. Anyway, it's so sad.
I got a solution to all this racism. We're just gonna send as many black folks towards white people as possible, okay? So black men, show them how big it is, all right? We need to create as many mixed children as possible at this point. We can't do it no more. Black women, throw it in a circle. Not in a rectangle, in a circle, okay? They ain't never seen that much ass shake before. That's my solution. I'm pretty sure half of them is gonna be okay with that, all right? I'm pretty sure. Go ahead and just make some more. Fast. Hurry up. You're not moving fast enough. I want this year to end with greatness. I want 2026 to be as many mixed children as possible so we can wipe off a lot of these races and then we keep just procreating with the rest of the race. That's it. That's it. Okay? That's how you do it. Because that's how we gonna wipe them off the earth. I'm telling you right now. We ain't trying to wipe all of y'all off. We just need to get rid of the racist ones. That's all, okay? On your mark, get set, go!
Black women really do love black men. We both are traumatized. We both have PTSD from our past, from our present, but we definitely love our black men. We're hard on them, but that's out of love. We don't let up. But again, that's out of love. I don't like to see black men say that black women don't support them, black women aren't for them, black women only want them if they're taking care of them, and all of the little shade I see thrown when we really love our black men. We really, truly do. But we have to acknowledge the trauma and the pain that we've all been through that makes us judge through all of the things that us, our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors have been through. But we truly do love you. I hate to see the shade back and forth. I'm not going to point no fingers or take no sides because I'm right here with the black. Not women, not men, but black. And I love to see black love. I love to see black people. Although I don't like doing business with my black people. I haven't got there yet. But I really do love black men. And I know there are a lot of black women that love black men. We have to figure out how to love more and not point out each other's flaws. Because we all have flaws. When I see the shots taken at black women, some of those are very accurate for some black women. And the shots that are taken at black men, which I can even throw, a lot of them are very much accurate. But that doesn't apply to every black man or woman. But even so, what happened to grabbing that person or meeting that person and showing them how to love, showing them how to be loved correctly? What happened to like really just embracing someone through everything that they're going through and like showing them? I get at some point you got to let go if a person isn't willing to change, if they don't want to be loved, and if they don't know how to love you correctly. But we have.
So after carefully listening to our brothers and sisters, here's my deep critical analysis. You know, there's one thing I understand. I understand that you can never legislate the human heart. You cannot put a law that I want you to love this group of people. I want you to show good character. I want you to be kind. I want you to be genuine. You can never do that. Well, you might say, but people will never follow. Because if their heart does not align with it, then it won't happen, right? So me saying that you can never legislate the human heart gives room for you, an individual who feels that I don't have to marry a black woman, or I don't have to marry a black man to get married to a black man just because I have to pay loyalty to the sacrifices that our ancestors went through. Even though it is a right thing and a noble thing to do, right? So, what follows is that the society of the United States of America has not been so kind to the black people. It has not been so kind to the black people, you know? And black people have always formed, or rather, black people have evolved to a situation where you have now empathy towards your oppressor. You have empathy and you show kindness to your oppressor. But that person with whom you suffer with, in this case the black woman, does not get anything from you. You will show them your true colors. You will show them how tough you can be. You will beat them up. You will do bad things to them, right? That is the society that the black people are experiencing in the United States of America. And why is this happening? You might ask yourself, why is it that we have oppression against these black women or oppression against the black men? But most of the time it's always against the black woman, right? Someone said, when a black man gets rich, what he does first is upgrade his chick. He now goes for the upgrade 2.0, the white woman, or maybe any other race. But would it be nice to share your fruits with someone who helped you to labor them than to share your fruits with someone who just happened to appear once or everything is ready and everything is fresh? You just need to put them in your mouth. I better labor, I better eat with the person I labored with than eat myself. Eating myself or eating with someone else that did not labor, I will never enjoy. That's me. I'll never ever enjoy, and that's me. So loyalty towards the black community is a good thing, but it's not a mandatory thing. So we need to put a distinction between what is good and what is right. And that is where we get so many confusions, right? People confuse and people misunderstand doing a right thing. You know, you have money, you decide to spend them on other people, other women, apart from your own, well and good. You have money. Okay, it's not even about money, but money exposes true characters. So I'll just use it. So you have money and you stick to your own. That's good. It shows that you are a good man and you have a good character. We still have black men who have gotten married to black women, right? And they're living good. At the same time, we have black men married to white women, living good. And also the same can be applied in terms of you can marry your race and you don't live well with them. You are not peaceful. And you marry someone from another race but you live peaceful. It is that way. But the reasons why black women in America should be uplifted is because of the struggles that they have gone through. They are really suffering a lot to ensure that when we black men, you black men in America, you go for white women, you leave a lot of questions in these black women's head. They start judging their worth. They start saying, am I really noble? You know, they start putting those extra things to appease you. And in the end, you see, Africans, we don't have that long hair. We don't have that. But we have this coiled, hard hair, very good hair. But because our men, including myself, might run to the other opposite side, we need to look like people from the opposite side. I understand. So we need to push this influence back. And by pushing this influence back is by showing attention and appreciating our black women. Yeah. That is my message. And the thing that I want you to live with here is you can never, ever legislate the human heart. The human heart can only be legislated by the person who created it, and that's the Most High God. Yeah. You have anything you have to share, kindly share. I'll surely appreciate. And see you in the next one. Stay positive.